Hello and welcome to the show. Listen, we've got a great show planned for you. I don't know if you're excited, but I am excited today. We have our guest, I tell you, Miss Quencie Thomas of Studio Q TV. And we've been talking about new beginnings, and this is a new beginning. It's all about doing what God has purposed you to do in your life, and you just got to start and do it now. And so we're going to have a great time with Quencie, and so I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy because it's coming up next.
The Cecil Williams South Carolina Civil Rights Museum is the Palmetto State's first and only museum. It honors a generation of people, black and white, throughout the state of South Carolina who deserve to be remembered for their unselfish commitments and sacrifices. Enjoy an immersive and entertaining virtual tour. For more information, visit www.cecilwilliams.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Finkley of The Michael Finkley Show, and you're watching Gold right now. Why? You're watching The Tammy Show. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show. I told you we've got a great show planned for you. So I'm going to ask you a question. Whitney Houston, Margaret Avery, Layla Hathaway, Jennifer Lewis, Kirk Whalen, John Amos, Shirley Lee Ralph, Faith Evans, Jamie Foxx, Taraji P. Henson, Eldris Abba, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Kirk Franklin, Eric Benet, Kim Whitley, and her son Joshua. And the list goes on. What do they all have in common? Well, they've been interviewed by this one and only phenomenal host, Quencie Thomas from Springfield, Illinois. Now, let me tell you what, she's an alum of an HBCU, yes, Clark Atlanta University, and she also attended the University of Illinois. She is the founder of Studio Q, and as I mentioned, she's interviewed all of those names. That's what they have in common. That's what's there. Her writing skills she's contributed to the Atlanta Voice, to the State Journal Registry. She's worked as a producer for major networks, NBC, CBS, Fox, MTV, and BET. Yes, Tyra Banks and the Divorce Court. So I have introduced her my way, but check this out. MC Light is going to introduce her another way.
Hi, Quencie's friends.
Hey, Quencie.
We love Quencie.
Yo, what up? Just the brat, you know what I'm saying? Chilling with my homie Q.
You stupid stuff, girl. Why you still like hood?
I'm thrilled to know Quencie T. Thomas.
Born Quencie T. Thomas in the small Midwest town of Springfield, Illinois, this dynamic ball of energy, affectionately nicknamed Q, was destined to interview stars around the globe. Q is a TV host that asks questions you want to know. She climbs inside the career of a celebrity, revealing all of the stepping stones to success. Her winning personality connects with global guests and hometown audiences, enabling them both to feel a sense of being old-time friends.
So lay back, keep watching. Quencie, yeah.
Studio Q show, now you know.
Keep it locked, the Studio Q.
Oh my God. That is like, do you know that is like 20 something? That's probably almost 20 years old.
Wow.
That clip that I edited when I first started learning how to edit. Oh my God.
Well, let me tell you, I saw that. I said, I know I'm going to introduce you in my special way. But when I saw that, the team, we were talking and we just said, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Hey, Quencie, welcome to the show. Welcome,
Thank you
welcome,
so much.
welcome. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Listen, I am so excited, as I told you, to have you on the show. You're a phenomenal host. And I just want to get inside of that brain because, we don't get a chance to talk with each other. We're either asking people the questions. And so we're not on the other side. So I'm going to put you on the other side. Let's talk about if somebody were to say to you, who is Quencie? What would you tell them?
Listen, like I said in that clip, a dynamic ball of energy that never meets a stranger.
Hey,
loud, fun, long-winded. Yeah.
That's the Quencie. That is the Quencie. So let's talk about this. What made you decide to want to start interviewing people in general? We're not talking about just celebrities. We're just talking about doing interviews. How did you start that?
Well, I had no interest in doing it. I was an intern for Sony Music at the time in college. And a friend of mine had a college show. Shout out to Chris. He had a college show called Premiere TV. And we were just friends. And I would give him free music from the record label. And one day he was just, based on my personality and what he knew about me, he's like, Q, I want you to interview Debrat. And I was like, I mean, why? Like, he literally talked to me for a whole evening. He's like, it's your personality. I'll write the questions. Somebody's going to, you don't have to do nothing but just show up and be you. And he convinced me. I did the interview. It was horrible, not in the sense of like I was horrible, but it was my first time. You know what I mean? So we was in a hotel. The lighting was off. The questions, I think I was too comfortable or nervous with Debrat. And, I think my intro line to her of the host was, yeah, I'm sitting here next to my favorite. And then I thought about it and I was like, well, not my favorite. Debrat said, wait a minute. That doesn't make the person on the side feel. I said, you know what? You're right. Take two. So, the interview was what it was because it was my first time, but Chris saw it. But because of my connection with Debrat, just personality wise, we were able to get another interview. And that one went much better. But once I did it, I said, wow, I can do something and be successful with something that is natural to me, which is connecting with people.
Right. And, let's talk about your college, because in college, what did you study?
Mass media arts, radio, TV, and film.
Yeah. So you were already preparing yourself without you knowing.
Yeah, without even knowing. I didn't know what part of the entertainment industry I wanted to be in, like whether it be music or radio or TV, but I knew I wanted to be in it, in that. So I did a lot of internships in college just to get a taste where, you can get that that experience. And none of it seemed to fit. I worked at V103 in Atlanta. I worked at Sony Music. I worked at BET, and it gave me a taste of what it would be like. But nothing really landed until I created Studio Q, and I felt like, okay, this is home. Like being able to not just interview people, but be the executive producer. Because what people don't understand, the power is behind the camera.
Exactly. Q, you froze. Q.
Yeah, I know you did too.
Yeah. We both.
We did the mannequin challenge.
Hey. Well, so since you've been in this industry, who has been your biggest inspiration?
Well, come on, we all got to go with Oprah. I definitely watched Barbara Walters, Diane Sawyer, just the classic people. But the person that I studied the most and who I actually even named my show after, just added a Q at the end, is a gentleman who's passed away now. His name is James Lipton. He was the host of Inside the Actor Studio. and it used to run on Bravo. And he was a professor, but he also was the interviewer, and he would interview all of these actors, but the audience was full of students, and so just the in-depth way that he did, the interviews just captured. I used to record them and call them my study tapes.
Wow.
So
wow.
Charlie Rose, just like those two, Charlie Rose and James Lipton, and Oprah was in there, but really James Lipton was. And so Actor Studio, since I watch it all the time, I'm like, Studio Q. I'm gonna just put a Q at the end, and so he was my guy. He was my guy.
Yeah, it's interesting how you have people that you look at, and you're studying them, and they're giving you that inspiration to say, you know what, that's what I want to do. I never thought about doing all of this, but like you said, it just happens. It just comes about. Let's talk about your success. And I want to ask you, and I know what you may and may not say. How did you feel when you did your interview with your favorite celebrity, as you say, Whitney Houston? We're going to talk about Whitney. What was that like?
Yes. Listen, that was, I don't even really call, is that it? Uh-oh.
That's on my
I don't know if
side.
that's
Don't
me or
worry.
you. I was like, what was going on? Look, that's when you know you live.
Hello.
I don't even really, I know it is an interview, but I consider that just a dream come true moment, just a dream come true moment in time. Because like, I loved Whitney since I was a little girl, the greatest love of all. And all these millions of people who love her, like how in the world was I going to be able to sit in a chair next to her and be able to communicate what her music and her persona did for me? So I'm very grateful for that moment, and that I didn't faint and curl up in a fetal position and just cry, because that's what I really want to do.
Isn't it amazing how when you meet someone of that magnitude and you're like, okay, but then you have to be cool and just say, hello.
But the first time I met her, that's exactly what happened. I was speechless. I met her before Fanatic. A lot of people don't know that. I snuck backstage at the Georgia Dome when it was just built, and because she was hosting an event with Dick Clark, passing the flag from Barcelona to Atlanta, because the Olympics were in Atlanta. And I snuck backstage, and I got to meet her then, and there was no words. I was speechless. And I said to God, that's when it became clear, manifestation. I didn't know that those were the words, manifestation. I said, I have to be very clear and detailed about what it is that I want, because the dream of meeting her came true, but the experience that I wanted to have was not there. So the next time I met her was on MTV.
Oh, wow. And how did you do then? How did you do?
Well, listen, I had a little talk with Jesus, you know what I'm saying? And I said, God, please allow me to be myself, because if Whitney Houston is going to like me, I want her to like the real me. And so he enabled me to be myself, and we connected. And I still, sometimes it took me years to watch that and be like, yo, that was you. That was you with your favorite. She my fave.
Yeah. So when you say favorite, would you say that has been your favorite interview so far?
Listen, God gave me my summit moment first.
All right.
The only interview better than Whitney Houston would be to interview her again. Like, that's what I would always say. Yeah. So, and God gave me that first. So everything else is butter. Like, not that I don't love, everybody else, because I do, but Whitney is my only fave.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's manifestation, step by step. Thank you so much, fam. When she was saying manifestation, I'm telling you, that's dreaming. And it's so important to talk about dreams, because when you look back on all that you've accomplished, what have you not done that you want to do now?
Oh, there's so much. There's so much. There's so much. Partnerships, red carpet junkets. I mean, there's so
Boy,
much. Listen, I'm just getting started. I'm
come
just getting
on.
started. Yeah.
Wow. I see a collaboration. I see a collaboration getting ready to happen
Come
here.
on. Speak it 2024. Come on.
That's what I'm talking about. So when we talk about life, I want to talk about life.
Okay.
What are some of those life lessons that you've learned through this journey, along this journey?
Well, I've learned to believe in yourself, and I've learned through hiding not to hide. Because
Mm,
a lot of my interviews that I did in LA, I was very depressed, and I only had enough. I don't know what to say, like enough gumption, enough whatever, just to do the interview. Like all the
mm,
networking, like before this interview,
mhm.
we talked a little bit. I didn't have the bandwidth to do all that. I couldn't connect with you afterward. I couldn't connect with you before I could only do the interview. So going through, depression and still trying to get your dream, because I went out to LA, and when I realized that, oh, you're either going to work 100 hours for somebody else, or you're going to figure out how to strike on your own. But trying to
Mm,
make that transition, I'm like, how do you do that? So
mm.
it came with a lot of highs, emotional highs and lows. And so for me to get the work done, for you to see the interviews that you've seen, that's why you didn't see me in them. You see my hand.
Yes,
I hid behind my logo. There's many interviews where you don't even hear my voice. You just hear the
the,
person I'm interviewing.
the B-roll.
Mhm.
I wrote, and one of my questions that I thought about and that people don't ask, we see the successful celebrity. We see you doing all of these interviews,
Yeah.
but those curveballs that you're
Mm.
hit with and thrown within your life, how
Yeah.
did you turn those curves into the path that you wanted to go? Because you're talking about depression, you're
Yeah.
talking about highs and lows, you're talking about mental health. So,
Yes.
what was that shift for you? What has been the shift?
Well, and my mom would always say this to me, tie another knot. I would
Mm,
always I would tie another knot. Like no matter how low I got, I still this little light of mine, it was still a little flicker, and I just kept honing that. People would not know what I was going through by seeing me because of how I present.
mhm,
And
mhm.
it wasn't an inauthentic present, because like you're just not gonna know about my depression unless we close. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Mhm,
So I'm not gonna
mhm.
just have these conversations out in the world. So I was being me, but I was also struggling. But I just couldn't give up on myself. Like no matter how low I got, I just tied another knot. Even, there was days I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't do nothing. But as long as I could get one little thing done. So one
Mhm,
step at a time, one day
mhm.
at a time. And it just kept getting better, better. Sometimes it got worse, but then I get better. But just tying another knot and not giving up on you. You can't give up on you, no matter how
Mhm.
bad. And I know everybody doesn't win that fight,
Right.
so I'm very grateful
Right.
that I was able to still tie another knot, still hold on to hope, still believe in God, rely on my faith. And I
Mhm.
kept working, doing a little bit, just even
Wow.
if it was just one interview, and I would just,
That's right.
put everything into that. So just not
That's
giving up.
right.
But
Wow.
it is a struggle. I don't want to dismiss that. And as soon as I was able to get a therapist, my God, I got one.
Come on. I know we all I have one. I can't say we
Come
all do,
on.
but I have one. We have to. We have to.
Yes.
I love what
Hmm.
Jill's comfort zone says. You do such an amazing job interview, just natural and having a spirit where people are just
Oh,
relaxed in your presence. We want to thank
oh,
you, Jill,
thank
for
you.
that. I want to come back and I want to talk with you, Q, because it's some things that you're striking on that I really want us to let people know that when they see you, They don't know. I tell people all the time, you see the story, you see the glory, but you really don't know the story.
Come on.
And so that's why I wanted you to come on. My 100-year-old aunt, my daddy's sister, who's still living today. That's what she tells me all the time. Tie a knot and hang on, girl.
Oh, wow.
So when you said that, I was like, oh my God, this was meant to be. So Q, we're going to come back. We're going to take a commercial break and we're going to come back. Okay.
All right.
We'll be right back, folks. Thank you, Q.
All right. Oh, absolutely.
Commercial break.
The Orangeburg County Conference Center supports downtown Orangeburg and our surrounding communities. The 6,000 plus square foot space is ideal for groups of up to 400 people attending corporate meetings, conventions, workshops, and special events. Conference Center staff are inspired to ensure that everyone can enjoy the modern amenities. State-of-the-art ballroom that accommodates up to 400 guests banquet style and 430 guests theater style. A warming kitchen with hot boxes, ice machine, refrigerator, freezer, and counter space. A lobby that accommodates 150 guests with special events outdoors. The comfortable outdoor amphitheater has a video wall and seating. Adjacent to the amphitheater is 12,000 plus square feet of green space that extends events outside, plus complimentary on-site event parking and additional parking across the street. Your event can take place all in one spectacular location. We welcome your special event in Orangeburg.
My name is Randy Dantrell Heath, and you are watching The Tammy Show.
Welcome back. Listen, if you're just joining us, we're having a great time. I tell you what, I am so excited and just so honored to have the fabulous, the amazing, the phenomenal Quencie Thomas of Studio Q. Hey,
Honored to be here.
Listen, thank you so much. We were talking before the break, and you were talking about being depressed. You're talking about the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
What did you have to do? And this is hard for people to understand. And you talked about it, but I want you to kind of reiterate that. Okay. What is it that you had to do to kind of bring yourself out of that, to turn that curve, to make that shift? So that even you're here talking with me tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that it really is about tying that knot and not letting go, because I absolutely do not look like what I've been through. Okay.
Come on.
I just don't. Nobody would ever know. But, just not giving up on myself, prayer, as soon as I was able, knowing that I needed someone to help me through, to see me, because I was hiding too. And what people don't understand is, like, that's not who I was prior to the depression. You get what I'm saying? I was a very extroverted person. So for me not to be jumping in the picture, me not to be being, in the interview, like, for people to even hear that who actually probably know me from way back when, they like, what? But it happened. And I never knew about depression until I went through it. And I was like, oh, this is, so to experience, like, just hiding myself, so I had to find me again, and validate myself and be my own best friend, and reach out. Don't isolate, reach out to people. If you can't find a therapist, find somebody who can validate those feelings that you're going through, so you know that you're not alone, and but just not giving up, knowing that this is just a moment.
Right.
It's just a moment. And if you can get past that moment to the next moment, it gets better. It gets better.
And in that moment, Q, what motivates Q?
you know, manifesting my dreams, being excellent, you know, wanting to see what's in my mind come out, knowing that it's possible. Because growing up in a small town that was that I was mostly surrounded by white teachers, white students. I was the fly in the buttermilk. Now, don't get me wrong, I had a ball. Okay, I had a ball, you know, but I didn't have black teachers. I had to go to a whole HBCU to live in Wakanda. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
Like, you know, my mother, she went to a black high school, black, you know, she had that neighborhood parties, all that. I did. My experience was completely different. That's why, you know, I was happy that Whitney Houston's music crossed over because I didn't have black radio. So I was like, okay. They making sure Whitney played on the white radio. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just wanting, motivated by excellence and wanting to be what I saw in my brain and what I saw when I finally got to see greatness be reflected, you know, black excellence, you know. So yeah.
Wow. You said a word. And Q, you know, I want to thank you so much for being transparent, because a lot of times people see us and they really don't know what we go through or what we've been through. And for you to come on the Tammy show and be as transparent as you are, I want to thank you for that, because a lot of people don't talk about mental health. And, you know, my last show that I just did last week.
And I watched your last show with the therapist.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, with the therapist on mental health, especially during.
Uh-oh, you froze. She froze.
It's always such a hard time for some folks. Hey, again, we're freezing.
You back?
But,
you back?
Yeah, we're back. But I want to thank you for being transparent. You know, I want to switch, because we have some photographs. Want to talk about your favorite interview so far. So we already said that, but I want Tiana and Willie, they have some clips that they want us to see and that you brought with us. And I kind of want you to kind of tell me in one word what this particular interview meant to you.
Okay.
Or person.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, Deborah Cox. Oh my gosh. Yes, Deborah Cox. I don't know. Like, I'm probably the word is going to be just excellence for everything, because, you know, people like she's from Canada. She was groomed by Clive Davis after Whitney Houston to be the next Whitney Houston, but her voice was big and she was a kind person. You know what I mean? And I brought my godson to that interview, and she took a picture with him and she talked to him. So, you know, that's another beautiful thing, is that, you know, some of the people that you get to meet are not just excellent at their craft, but they're also kind people, you know, because listen, everybody ain't. So the ones that are,
I'm gonna get to that question, because I want to answer that one. Okay, next. I know we have that Eddie Murphy.
That's the look you give after you just interviewed Eddie Murphy.
Okay, and then I believe
Shanice. Yes. She's you know, I loved interviewing her. Not in this, like, I've interviewed Shanice a few times, and when I interviewed her about when her and her husband like went bankrupt, or they was like evicted from their house, she was very transparent too and talked about it. And, you know, that's like what you're saying, people don't look like what they go through, you know. And I was happy that she could speak to her struggles, and because, you know, that frees other people, because people see themselves in your triumph, you know. And when you're able to be transparent, you can connect and you're relatable. And we all go through stuff. None of us, we all go through stuff.
Hey, we all need tissues for our issues. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember. Okay. And we have I think the other Molly Gibbs.
Oh, come on. Legend.
Yeah, okay. Legend. That's the word. Legend.
That's the word. Okay.
Yeah.
Come on. Legend.
All right.
The Jeffersons, 227.
Yes, 227. The Jeffersons. I mean, and even now, looking at her, she's so regal. She's just so regal. So I'm gonna go back. talk about not everybody being kind. What has been your most challenging interview? I'm not going to ask you, because you can tell. You can tell us the situation.
You know what? Like I haven't had a challenging interview in that regard, but I have had some moments surrounding, you know, a few actors that I was like, what? You know, did you really just do this? You know, and we are both Black women and this, that, and the third. So, you know, just and I'm very blessed because for as many people that I've been able to come and encounter with, I've only had a handful. And when I say handful, I mean one hand of things that I wasn't happy with, that I wasn't cool with. You know what I mean? And what I do is I put them over there and I keep it moving, because what you're not going to do is stop my flow. What you're not going to do, and there's 100 other people that I'm going to connect with. And not focus on this right here. Like, I'm not going to let that energy stop me. But everybody isn't nice. Everybody isn't cool. And you need to be okay with that and keep it moving. People be people, and even when they're celebrities. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. And, you know, people don't get that because everybody's human. We all are, and we all are going through. I mean, I don't care what you say. You can see them smiling one day, but the next day they can be down. And the next day they can be smiling, but we all are going through, and we all have to love one another. You know, it's one of the things that I'm always talking about, loving. And I love your spirit. I love your spirit. And so what excites your spirit?
Positivity, community, helping one another. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not in competition with you. I'm trying to see you win. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see you win. I'm trying to congratulate you. You know, you my sis, my queen, you know what I mean? Like, I'm about that. I'm about uplifting, because ain't nobody got time for that other stuff. At least I don't. I'm not gonna make time for that, you know, because it's crowded down there. I like it up here where like it's crowded down there with people's opinions and negativity and all that stuff. And so that's why there's so many places and spaces you can go, but not up around me. You know what I'm saying? I like to laugh. I like to uplift. So, you know, being kind, and supporting one another, saying a kind word, helping each other without not looking for something in return.
Right. Speak. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, you're preaching now. You preaching. So when we talk about your life, Q, what did you expect at this point that your life would be like? Did you have any expectations?
Well, you know what? I remember calling my mom when I was like maybe 21, and this is a few years before I met Whitney. So just tell you how absurd this was. I was like, Mom, I've done it all. I think I'm gonna die. I think I'm near death, because you know what I'm saying? I went to school. I went to like she was like, ma'am,
you need to sit down.
You need to sit down. Somewhere. So I say that to say I don't necessarily can tell you what the vision I had, because at 21 I thought, well, here it is. Here it is.
So okay, I'm gonna turn that back around. So now, what would you tell your 21-year-old self now?
Girl, listen, just first of all, let's go out and get some magazines and cut out what we want to happen. Okay, let's make a vision board. Let's dream as big as we can be, because listen, one of the things that I saw on the Oprah Winfrey Show that she said many, many years ago was, God can dream a dream bigger than you.
That's right.
And it's so true. So you can't dream big enough for God. You think you can, because then he add his pixie dust on it. You know what I mean? There's so many things that has happened to me that in my mind, I had it this way. Like, I just wanted to meet Whitney. I didn't know I was going to be sitting on MTV interviewing her. Okay. Wow. So, so I would go back and tell her, dream bigger, go bigger, dream more. And that's what I would tell anybody to now. Dream bigger.
Dream bigger. Dream
Yeah.
bigger. Wow. So,
We
okay.
only have a finite time on this planet. Go big.
Go big.
Because we all going home. We're all for sure going home. So
that's right.
Let's go big while we're here, you know. And you can't dream big enough that's bigger than God. You know what I mean?
It.
So
you can't.
So go big and watch how it works.
Watch him, because he's gonna show up and he's gonna show out.
Come on.
He does it every time. Every
single time.
Every time.
Mic drop.
Wow. What's a legacy that you want to leave?
I want to leave that. That's really good. But you know, I saw Oprah and Sherry Shepherd on the interview, and Oprah said, legacy that Maya Angelou told her about. Legacy is everybody you touch. Every little thing. It ain't that one thing. So
that's it.
So dare I sit here and say one thing? It's everybody that I've been able to uplift, everybody I've been able to touch, every interview that I've been done, every niece and nephew that I gave a kiss to and it meant something to. You know what I'm saying? Every stranger. Like, I think a couple of days ago, I was going to get some vitamins, and this lady was standing on the she was like, you know, it was a step down. And I just saw her pause, and I was like, do you need some help? And she's like, oh, my kids always ask me, you know. I said, she's like, I'm just trying to judge. I was like, take my arm. She took my arm and she stood there. Like, that's my legacy. You get what I'm saying? That's part of it.
That's it.
Seeing a way that I can be of service and executing, not thinking about it, doing it.
Wow. And you're doing it, Q. You're doing it. I mean, look at what you're doing.
And I was depressed. I was depressed, y'all. I was in a fetal position, rocking back and forth, hiding from the interview.
Look at God. Look at God.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Look at God. Look at what he's
from anywhere. That's what that is my whole point.
Come on now. You know, and I want people to understand that when I talk about God, because I love the Lord. And even though, you know, we have these platforms and they say, well, you know, you've got someone who's in this religion, who's in that religion. I say, I don't care. I love the Lord. Yes. I don't know about anybody else. What Whitney has to say, I love the Lord. Okay, come on. I ain't going there because I'm not Whitney. But I love the Lord. And you do. And that's what has gotten you to this point, that you're able to talk to me tonight. And that's why I'm like, look at this sister here. Look at this queen. Just hey, listen now, you know, old school, bad. Old school,
come on, not
you
bad
girl. You bad girl.
Look, you not bad. The 70s, bad. I know that's right.
I have enjoyed this so much. So there are a couple of things that I know people want to hear from you. Okay. For instance, your book, Nothing But Love. Talk about your book, about Whitney Houston.
Well, you know, I wanted for Whitney Houston fans, I wanted to chronicle every moment, because if I never had a moment with Whitney and I met somebody who did or knew somebody in the world who did, I want to know about every single moment. Like, tell me everything. Okay, she would tell me about it and don't leave nothing out. So all I did was share my story of I think I met Whitney 7 times. I had 7 moments with Whitney when she was here, and I just basically chronicled every moment, including the one that was 2 days before she passed away on my first red carpet when we, you know, embraced and hugged. And I feel like that was a gift from God as well, you know, because I wasn't even gonna go there, but I did, and Whitney was there, and I don't even know if she thought she might have known she was leaving, but I don't think she knew she was leaving in 2 days, you know. Yeah. But God did. So for me to be able to have a beginning, middle, and end to that story is amazing.
That's surreal. That's so surreal, because everybody doesn't get that opportunity. See, again, the one and only, the only wise God. You know, everybody does not get that opportunity. And you had that opportunity, beginning, middle, and close out.
And look, I was a stranger. Like, do you know how many millions of people? And now it took me to get to the internet to know this, because prior to the internet, of course, I was the #1 fan. But after I met Whitney, I logged on to the internet. I said, well, it's a bunch of us. You mean to tell me y'all like her this much? Y'all done created whole websites? Like, I ain't done none of that. That's when I got humbled. I said, oh, it could have been any one of y'all.
That's right. That's right. But the only wise God, he had that for you. Yeah. He makes no mistakes. Lance said God's plans will never fail. And Lance, thank you for that. I tell you, thank you everybody for the comments. Listen, we can't read them all, but we can't say them out loud, but we are showing them, and we are thanking you for just tuning in with us. I'm here with Studio Q, with Quencie Thomas, as I say, the one and only, the phenomenal, the amazing Queen.
Thank you for the love, Queen. Thank you for
the love. Listen, from one queen to another. Yes. I love you, my sister. You have an ebook. I want people to realize that, these red carpets that you do are so special. And people want to know, well, how did she get on a red carpet? How did you do that? What do you do? So they can learn that how.
Well, you know what? Just go to my Patreon, patreon.com/StudioQTV. And I have a digital store. It has my ebook on tips about how you can cover the red carpet. I have an e-course, which is about 90 minutes long, that tells you all the stories, how I did it, how you can do it too, and how you can do it by yourself. Because a lot of people think when they see the kind of the caliber of people that I've interviewed, you must be connected. But let me tell you who my booking agent was. It was him.
Okay.
It was her. It was God. Okay, God was my booking agent. So I wanted to create an e-course to empower people that if they want to do this, they can too, And so I share stories, mistakes, things that I've learned, the equipment that I use, things that I feel like will help them get started, for people who just want to get started. So yeah.
Get started. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's exciting. I know that Tiana, and I want to thank Tiana again, assistant producer, for having you on the show. She's the one that connected with the infamous Quencie Thomas. I tell you. And so what set Studio Q apart from all the other outlets?
I would say, you know what? I would say the kind of interviews that I do, they're not clickbait. They're not salacious. I'm doing real research to allow the viewer to really know the person behind the craft of what they do and how they learned the craft. Like we're talking, and through that, then people also talk about who they are, their story, because it's all kind of intertwined. So you're not going to see any salacious headlines from me. You're not going to see me exploiting the latest. I'm not a blogger. I'm not that. I do in-depth, hour-long interviews, sometimes 2 hours, depending on the conversation. So you're going to get to know the person and feel connected to them in a way that you might not have done before because of the conversation that I'm trying to deliver.
Mm-hmm. And going back to, and I'm just going to take you back to when you were working on the different networks. Yeah. What was your experience working with those networks, and what was your favorite show?
Well, because I take myself wherever I go, I always found a way to have a good time. But my experience was like, first of all, it's a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of work. You're working hours and hours. I usually only had time when I was working at the Tyra Banks show, when I was working on Divorce Court, and you're booking these shows, or I'm working on these other productions. Like I was working 5-6 days a week, 12, 13 hours a day and so the one day that I have off, all I could do is take care, like doing your laundry, sleeping, going to get some food so that you can go back and do it again. So if that's what you want to do, let it really be your passion, and I wanted to learn, but I was like, if I'm doing this for them, I ain't gonna never get to me.
All right.
But if you want to be a producer, then just prepare to put the hours in, because it requires, you may see Tyra Banks, but the real work is behind the scenes, putting those shows together. And it takes a lot of time, and it's very codependent in the sense that on these sets, they have everything for you. The food, they don't want you to leave. Okay.
That's right.
Oh, you need a massage? We'll bring them to the set. Oh, you need something? Oh, we'll bring. No, you ain't got to go nowhere. We'll bring it to the set.
Yep, that's right. I mean, that's basically how it is. That's basically, if people really knew about this. Thank you. If they knew about this industry, a lot of people say, "No, I don't think I want to do that."
Exactly.
18 hours a
but
day.
If you notice, a lot of people. That's why they always have a fresh batch of what? Young people.
Young people. That's right. Well, when you think about the Black media now, what do you think as far as the need for more positive Black media? Do you think we have enough positive Black media, or what are your views?
We don't never have enough positive anything, especially, first of all, we don't have enough Black media. We still need more Black media.
Come on.
So we definitely don't have, more. We need more positive. Like, just, I'm not saying that people can't do the things with the Black. Like, people have their own interests, and I'm not here to judge that. But all I'm saying is, can we have as much of the other as well?
Right.
Right. That's what I used to always. For Whitney Houston, I have a platform called For the Love of Whitney, which was a fan documentary that I did, and I, created the platform because, yes, Whitney was on drugs. Yes, Whitney went through trials and tribulations with Bobby Brown. But is that the most of her? Is that pieces of her? You know what I mean? The body of her is a phenomenal Black woman who broke records, who's blazed trails, who's, so I feel that way about Black media. Like, okay, you can have the blogs, you can have the shade room, you can have the gossip, but like, also let's balance that out with this other stuff, learning about people that you never met before who are doing amazing things, who can inspire the children, all of that. So let us create a space for more of that. And we just don't, the proportions are off.
That's right. The proportion is up. And that's why we need more people like you, more people like young people, Willie and Tiana. I mean, that are coming into this industry and really learning this industry and making a difference.
Yeah.
True. Dreamer says true. I'm trying to read these. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Listen, this is the power of community, because what you didn't know was during the commercial break, I'm on StreamYard too, and it allows me to stream on my platforms as well. So while we're streaming on the Tammy Show, we're also streaming on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. So a lot of these people I know from Patreon, and because I've been going live all year. So shout out to all my cuties in the chat to support me, to support Tammy, and support this broadcast. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. Oh man, listen, I still got a couple more questions to ask you. I'm just sitting up here. It's like I'm sitting on my couch, right? And I'm like, this. I'm getting real comfortable now. With my water, y'all.
Yeah, that's like, listen, that's how it's supposed to be, Tammy.
Hey, as we're talking, I'm just so enthralled with all that you are saying. I mean, it's just so much about, the things that I have taken away from this interview is the struggles that you went through, but to see you now, to see you in the light that you are in now, the interviews, the people that you've been able to talk to, the way you are doing the community work, the way you are uplifting people, and the way you bring information and talking to people that we may have those questions. Just like I'm sitting here, somebody's probably looking right now saying, Tammy, ask her this, ask her that. And this is a way that you have been able to do that. And I am just so grateful, because you just don't know what you have done for me tonight. You have just encouraged me. And I don't know how to explain it. Almost like we're kindred spirits already, and you have just uplifted my soul. And I just want to thank you. I want to thank God. I want to thank Tiana, because without Tiana, you wouldn't be here. Number one, Willie sitting in here in the studio, it's pitch dark, outside, and we're sitting here. And I want to thank him for being here tonight, as he always is. But just to have you and your spirit, and for you to be as transparent as you are, because we all suffer with depression.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able for you to come out and talk to me on the show about that, I just thank you. I can't thank you enough. And so my takeaways are, folks, that we need to really keep uplifting each other. And I keep telling people that every day. They think I'm crazy because all I do is I love people. I'm always a hugger. I'm always talking about loving people, always talking about, making sure that your neighbor's okay, making sure that the person that you're next door, you may not know them, but check on them. If you see them, say, hey, what's going on in the hallway? Hey, how you doing? They said, Tammy, I always talk to everybody, Lord Jesus. But, that's just the type of person that I am. And so to have you on is such a blessing. And I want to thank you. I just want to thank you. So I want to talk with you. What are your biggest takeaways? What's the biggest takeaway that you want the viewers tonight to glean from? What do you want them to glean from this interview?
Well, I want people to know the reason I'm open about certain things like the depression, because I want people to know that, people don't look like what they go through, but that doesn't mean that they can't make it to the other side. And, therapy is not just going to church, get you a therapist, or get you somebody who loves you, who cares about you, that you can make it through that moment. And I learned a lot during that about myself, because I had never been depressed before. I didn't even know anything about it. So I learned a lot about myself. So I want people to see that, hey, she's doing all this, but she also went through something that maybe I'm going through right now. And she was able to make it to the other side. So guess what? I can too,
Yeah. Oh, wow. Whew, girl.
Yeah.
Say it.
Come on. Yeah.
Say it.
Yeah. It's important because, I'm so thankful that mental health is a bigger thing. That people aren't, it's becoming less of a stigma. I loved when I talked to Jennifer Lewis and interviewed her, and she talked so freely about her bipolar disease. I've interviewed a therapist for the last 3 years, Candace Cox. I'm interviewing her again next week, Black mental therapist who deals with intergenerational trauma. You know what I mean? We need to make it be normal, because everybody could use somebody to talk to. Everybody goes through something. But it don't have to take you out of here,
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to prevent you from still getting to where you want to go to, So, because nobody could look at that Whitney Houston interview and ever think that I was depressed, but I was.
Wow. You would never tell it, especially in the Black community. And that's what I keep.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. I'm sure she'll be back, you guys. I don't know where Tammy went. She lost her signal. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. Shout out to you, Monique. Shout out to you, Jill's Comfort Zone. Look, I'm just taking over the Tammy show. Y'all see this? Shout out to you, Warren Schaefer. I'm sure she's going to be back on, y'all. I'm sure she will. This was not planned. Stuff happens. Creative. Okay, she back. That's good. That's okay. I held it down.
Woo!
I held it down. Don't worry about it.
Hey, listen. This is what we call it in any television, technical difficulties.
Yeah.
I just went out. It just went out. I was like, oh my God, he's talking.
But look, it's all good.
That paper.
When you watch it back, you'll see I just shouted out people in the comments. It's all good.
Yeah. Hey, listen, that's a true host. See y'all, what I'm talking about? Give her a round of applause. Give her a round of applause.
Look, that's what practice will do.
Yeah,
I've been going live all year. That's what practice will do.
Hey, listen, and this is the beauty of being able to be in here with you, because you know how things are.
Oh, yeah,
you know how this happens. So Q, let's talk about it. What's next for Q? What's next?
Listen, the biggest thing about what's next is in 2024, I am trying to get way more organized, because my main thing this year was building community. So I was just trying to get over the fear of going live. And if anybody has seen me this year, they know that I've conquered that. Okay. Yeah. But it's not just about that being creative, but it's also about that's why I heard somebody say that's why the word business is longer than the word show. So not just being a creative, but learning how to monetize what I do, because I've been working for free for a long, long time.
Come on.
And this is a very expensive hobby. And so it can't be a hobby if this is my dream, if this is my passion. So being more business minded, doing things to monetize what I do, how I do it, So 2024 is looking like partnerships, branding deals, all kinds of things that reflect the business of what I do, not just the creative, because I've just been creative for a very, very long time. But, it has to be balanced if you want to survive. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you want to be sustainable, Yeah.
And, when you talk about that balancing act, because a lot of times you are balancing. You've been, like you say, we've been balancing that creative side, the business side, and you have to do both in order for you to sustain yourself in the manner in which you are accustomed to.
Yeah, because listen, this is time. Listen, what people don't understand is when they see me, I've uploaded, I've edited, I've written, because I am my team. So I'm wearing 50 hats, So and it's time. You can't get that time back. You know what I mean? So sometimes I've been on live streams of 2.5 hours, 4 hours sometimes. I've edited, hours and hours of stuff. So you have to find a way to monetize. You have to find a way to justify your time, or otherwise you will burn yourself out and you won't be sustainable. And this is a craft, I work hard to make my stuff not just be good, but look good and be everywhere. And so that's a lot of work. So you have to find a way to balance everything, just like a Black woman, that's what we do.
Wearing all the hats. You have one on now. And I'm pretty sure when we
exactly
you're gonna put on another one. Come on.
Thank you. Just like a Black woman.
That's right. Well, listen, Q, I'm gonna say a couple of words, and I want you to give me a word or 2 words of what that word means to you.
Okay.
Career.
I'm sorry.
Career. I'm sorry.
Career.
Career.
You told me I thought you said Korea. I was like, Korea.
Now, I'm Gullah Geechee, right? I'm from Charleston.
No, I didn't know you were Gullah Geechee.
You know how that is. So let's don't get it twisted.
So that was the accent. That was the Gullah coming in there.
Yeah, that was the Gullah. So career.
Okay, so what comes to mind when you say the word career? Passion.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Passion.
Life.
A gift.
Love.
Oh, God.
And of course, God.
God. Oh, thankful. Thankful for. I'm glad there is a God.
Whew. Come on, you did it. That's it. Those were the 4 words. Those were the 4 words. Those were. See, listen. I know. See, you already saw the other interview, so I said I'm gonna have to switch this up a little bit. But I am still going to ask those 3 words that describe you. 3 words that describe you.
I'm ready for it. I would say funny, fun, long-winded. Funny, long-winded. I had the 3 because I watched the interview.
See?
Yeah, I did. I was like, oh, I got my 3 words.
So you said funny.
The 3rd one.
Okay, so we still need a 3rd one because funny and fun are pretty much the same thing, right?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Long, long-winded.
Oh,
I'm gonna steal the therapist word that I saw. Direct. I've been known to be blunt.
Blunt. I'm gonna let her know that too.
Yeah, stole her word.
Stole her word. Yeah. I'm gonna let her know that. Listen, Q, is there anything else you want to say to the viewers out here, to our friends that have been watching and just have been having a great time? This is the last thing.
The last thing is I just want to thank everyone in the chat who's watching this now. Anybody who will watch this in the future, who's watching this on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in to the conversation with Tammy. I hope you support her. I hope you watch her other interviews. And thank you for coming and learning a little bit about me. It's been an honor to be on a platform where I'm being uplifted and interested in. And so I appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you to everybody in chat. And Tammy, thank you.
Oh, man, Q, it is my pleasure. You are welcome. Listen, I'm the one that's thanking you because my sister, you are amazing. I can't say that word enough. I can't use the word phenomenal enough. I can't use the word just a powerful woman, a powerful queen. Boom. 1-2 punch. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. I had a cousin. Listen, I had a cousin when he used to get inebriated. He would say, "Boom, boom," and so that's what you got that boom, but you got it. You got it.
Thank you.
And I am so proud of you. Proud to know you, proud that we've had this time to share together. I'm so glad we had this time together.
Girl, we just did a duet. Let's take it on the road.
Come on. I'm ready for the collab. Yes. I'm ready. Yes. And so, girl, you have made my day. You have made my day, my night, my week, my Christmas, my New Year. And listen, I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful. Hugs,
virtual hugs.
Yes. Don't forget, you got to send me some information.
Yeah.
And folks, if you want to get in touch with Q, I think we have all of her handles. Tiana, you're there. We're gonna show.
Here we go. She got it all. Bam, boom, like your uncle. Yeah. Boom.
Yeah, and that's what he used to say. You've also got your website, your email, and so folks, if you're interested in getting in touch with Q, you can email her, and you can go to her website. Beautiful website, by the way.
Thank you.
I love your website. Yeah, so I'm just so grateful to you, and thank you, folks, for tuning in and taking the time to be with us today. Tiana, it was something else you wanted to show. You wanted to show something else. I see that she had something else.
Oh, Maya said, don't forget the Patreon. Oh, yes, that's one last thing. Yeah, Patreon is the new home for all things Quencie. I've taken my best stuff off of Patreon.
Okay.
So patreon.com/Studio QTV. And I encourage you, Tammy, to explore Patreon for what you're doing as well.
Okay. And that say again, that's patreon.com.
Patreon.com/Studio QTV. There you can join for free, but there's also $5 tier, $10 tier, $15 tiers. And with those tiers, you get special rewards of things that I've done, content. So check it out. I think it's a great, yes, thank you so much. I think it's a great place for you to explore too, Tammy, to put some of your content on. And
I will.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that. And is it Patreon, Patreon?
Yep. How she spelled it? She had it right.
Let me see it, Tiana. Let me see that again. I think she said
that's it.
It's Patreon.
Patreon. It's oh, you know what? She right. She wrong. Wait, Tiana.
That's what.
Yeah, you got it. That's that microbiologist. That's that science statement.
I saw it.
That ain't how you spell it.
I saw it.
Said,
but Tiana, she's trying to type it before we go off.
You're right. patreon.com/Studio Q.
Come on, Tiana. Go and put it back up there, girl, so everybody can see it. You got it, girl. You got it. That's it. There you go.
Yeah, that's the whole all things. You know, my fan documentary, my e-course, my book, my all of my exclusive content. The things that I'm most proud of. Some of it is free, some of it's behind a paywall. But that's my new home for a lot of things. Studio Q, Quencie, and a lot of Whitney content that I've done. Exclusive Whitney content.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. Listen, I'm going to check it out and I'm going to call you. Don't you go, please stay backstage for a minute.
Sure.
And folks, you all, now we're going to get ready to close out. But again, Q, I mean, my darling, thank you. I feel like we've known each other for quite a while. As I said, kindred spirit. And I can't thank you enough. I cannot thank you enough.
It's been my honor. It's been my honor.
Thank you. Mine too, girl. You just don't know. Mine too. You made my. Come on, jingle bells, jingle bells. You made. you made my day.
Oh,
you made my day. You did.
Hey,
you did.
It was supposed to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
God know what He up to.
Come on, He know before we know it. All right.
And
well, Q, thank you again, Q, and I'll see you backstage in a little bit. Okay.
All right.
Thank
you guys for joining.
Thank you. Love you much. Thank you, Q. All right. Listen, folks, I tell you what, thank you. Thank you, folks, for tuning in to Tammy right here on the Tammy TV show. We got something. Q, I do want you to stay backstage for a minute. This show tonight is a special show. My big brother passed away. I know some of you might have known him, former state representative David Mack III. And yesterday was his birthday. And I talked to Willie about doing something really special. And I think, Willie, you'll have to do it, or Tiana will have to do it. But I wanted to kind of show him because he was just my guy, my big brother. And God saw fit that he would leave us. But we wanted to celebrate something in his birthday. And for those of you that are not registered to vote, please, Q and I have been talking about community. Get out there and register to vote. It's no time like the present. This is the time to do it now. Don't wait. Please don't wait. And that's what my big brother would have said on his radio show, the David Mack third radio show and PM Urban Edition. That's what we did together. And so I would love to show that now. Okay. Oh, Willie's got I'm not going to cry, y'all. But anyway, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to do that. Thank you for indulging me. Remember, thank you to my producers, Alicia, assistant producer, Willie, and Tiana. Thank you, girl. You're the one that made that happen with Quencie, the one and only Quencie Studio Q TV. Remember, subscribe to the Tammy TV show on YouTube. That's you hit that red subscribe button. It's on the YouTube channel, the Tammy TV show YouTube channel. Remember, I tell you, please be a blessing to somebody today and every day because you just don't know. You don't know if they'll be here today or tomorrow or within the next hours or the next minute. So remember, love on that person. Thank you again for joining us. And until the next time, take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Uh-oh.